Hey, what's up guys, BY Gaming here. So in this video, we are basically going to be looking at the Pangoliath quest that was just released and basically talk about why I will not actually be able to get this monster. And I also want to give you guys some incentive not to worry too much if you cannot get monsters from various events. I basically want to go over why that doesn't really matter as much as you think, and we're going to get into that at the end of the video, so please stay tuned for that. And before we start, please like the video so that more people can see this, and please subscribe if you have not already. Right, we're nearing 100 subs, so we can do this, guys. Thanks for the continued support. Now, getting into the whole Pangoliath quest thing, you can see here that you need Virtue and Bright, or obviously the Joker's Erdicus or Galante Jr., and I do not have either Virtue nor do I have Bright, so this kind of thing is just not possible for me right now. If I had either of the two, I could just use the Jokers, right? But I do not, and I could buy it on the side here, but that would cost gems, which you could see I clearly don't have, right? So it's not going to happen. I'm not going to buy a gem pack just to be able to do this. It's just not worth it. I'd also have to spend additional gems to speed up the hatchery so that I could actually hatch the monster in time. And yeah, none of this hassle is even worth it. I do know that this guy is a Megaton monster. Specifically, he's got Megaton as a trait, which is kind of a big deal considering that we have only, I believe, have ever seen one other monster that has it as a trait, which is the Forsaken monster Centurion. So it is a big deal, especially how this guy gets it at rank 0. That's pretty handy because you don't have to even rank this guy to get Megaton. But honestly, I've just cut my losses. I've kind of just accepted it for what it is. I know that you can't get everything. You can't win them all in this game. And even if I did get a handful of these monsters from all of these events, a lot of them from previous events that I have, in fact, been able to obtain are just sitting there doing nothing but generating gold, which basically makes them no better than OG Mythics, because as far as using them for any kind of event goes, I simply have not been doing that. So yeah, I'm not really that upset over not being able to get Pangoliath because I already have a Megaton monster. In fact, I have several. Some of them are not ranked to the point where I can use Megaton, but honestly, that's okay, right? And that kind of leads me into what I was talking about earlier, which is that if you guys miss out on certain events, you really don't need to feel all that guilty because as we talked about in previous videos about Ludum and the restrictions that come with how little you get of that stuff in this game, you really can't rank up too many monsters to the point where you will ever use them anyway, right? So let's say you don't get the Tails monster that's coming out, or let's say you don't get the Maze monster. It's not really that big of a deal. I feel like the only time that would ever really be a big loss is if those monsters have insane potential to last a long, long time. And some monsters in this game have that kind of potential, but we also know that monsters get released all the time in this game. We also don't know how close the Corrupted Era is to finishing, and once it does finish, you can be sure that, assuming the trend continues, that there will be a new, type of monster that comes out in a new era or something like that, that is even stronger than the ones that we are currently used to, right? Monsters one-up themselves all the time in terms of who has the highest life, the highest power, the highest speed, and some crazy gimmicks, right? So it's not really that big of a deal if you don't get every single one. The ones you really want to care about are the ones that are, going to be there for at least a number of months, making the effort and the time worth it. But even if you get, the Tails monster, even if you get, the Maze monster, even if you get this guy, you're going to rank them up sufficiently, right? Because a lot of these monsters, they need to be at higher ranks for them to be usable, right? At all. At, the higher ranks, you really do need to take your monsters to rank 4 or, potentially the elusive rank 5 for them to really stand a chance, because a lot of players out there have maxed out monsters in these, higher ranks in PvP. And so you really need to be ranking your monsters up to similar, places if you want to actually stand a chance. So yeah, and with the amount of Ludum we get, it's just not possible to do that for every single monster, right? 4,400 Ludum is weeks worth of waiting. That's like 3 weeks worth of waiting, right? And so that's almost a month just for one rank 4 monster. And by the time you get that Ludum, you can be sure that there will be other monsters that are out within that time frame, and you may want to rank them up as well. So it's basically just a never-ending cycle of collecting monsters, throwing most of them away, and only really taking the very few that have potential to last a while all the way up to the ranks that you need to for them to be viable. And so yeah, if you miss out on the Tails event that's coming up, if you miss out on the Maze Monster by just a little bit, don't worry about it. Give yourself a break, because you can know if you continue playing the game that there will be something else that comes out that blows that out of the water eventually. All right. So yeah, don't sweat it if you can't get it. The Tails Monster, I don't even know if I can get that as well. You can see that I'm completely dry of gems here. And so there's just no way that that's happening unless I somehow get 150 gems or more by that time. And I'm generally quite sloppy when it comes to the Tails collections anyway. So who knows if that'll happen. If it doesn't, I'm over it. And I definitely think that you guys should have that kind of attitude as well. Be detached about it. Don't really care if you get every monster or not, because it really doesn't matter in the long term, right? The few monsters that matter, I would say, go get them. And of course, get the monsters if you can, right? If you can get Pangoliath, it's like, why the heck not, right? But if you can't get him, just, don't worry about it. All right? And that's pretty much going to do it for this video. I think I've gotten across what I had hoped to. And so if you enjoy the video, please like the video, please subscribe, and please share the video with your friends. And that being said, I'll be out. So have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.